We're back! Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Kimber of Kimber's Cozy Creations, and this is podcast episode number 10. I actually have notes this time, so it's gonna be great. It has been a hot minute or two since I've been on here. Life has been crazy. I think it's finally starting to mellow out a little bit, but we will get into life stuff at the very end. If you're new here, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. So nice to see you again. I hope you have your beverage of choice and some yarn. Knit, crochet, spin, weave, whatever you want to do, because it's going to be a long one. We'll see if I can get through it all before my battery dies on my camera. I hope so. So first things first, we'll get into some finished objects since last episode. I have, look how it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs of socks and a cowl that I have finished. So we'll just jump right in then. First off, we have my Halloween socks. I have 2 pairs of Halloween socks. I cast them on, I think both around Halloween time. But the first one is a lovely, beautiful, stripy little number because I decided to torture myself and have all the ends to weave in. What is this one? That's the, there we go. So this is Frankenstein's Bubblegum. It was the colorway name of both like the main skate, and then this was a mini set of 6 minis. Both are from the Cozy Cauldron Fiber Co. And Lisa is a genius on, like, she's just so great. So here's, I do have both socks finished. And all the ends are even woven in. I think this pair had like 54 ends or something like that because I did the, like the stripes on the foot. I did wider stripes with a little gap, and then I did like little stripes on the leg of the sock too. And obviously I did that to both socks. So yeah, there were so many ends to weave in. It was ridiculous, but totally worth it. 100% worth it. So now that I've shown these to you, I'm gonna cycle them into my rotation of socks because I need more hand knit socks because the rest of them still don't have ends woven in. So that one's done. Beautiful. We're just moving right along here. There's a lot, so I'm gonna go kind of fast-ish. But yeah, so that was the first pair. Second pair is another Halloween-y sock. This one is, the yarn is, the colorway is called Tea Party. Here, I'll show you. I did a nice little like pooling, striping, zigzagging thing here. So this colorway is called Tea Party, and it is fresh from the Cauldron. And again, it's a pair, ends woven in, done, beautiful. So these ones, all of the socks I'm showing you today are just plain vanilla, and then I'm doing, I still haven't figured out the name for this one, I should, but it's like an increase on the top of the foot and then just a shadow wrap heel and then decreases on the leg. So there's more room in the heel, which I need for my feet personally. So, and I like it better than like a Fleegle heel, which I have a whip with the Fleegle heel, so I'll show you that later. So just, I don't know, you can kind of see the guess it's a little bit better when it's not on the blocker. Like there's the increases, then the heel, and then decreases. So it just gives more room like between your heel and like the top of your foot. You know what I'm trying to say. I just think that they fit me better personally, and so it's not that big of an adjustment to make. So I just do that. So that's 2 pairs done. The third pair, we'll do these ones next, is my own yarn. It is the Sleepy Hollow sock set. And again, just this is the Sleepy Hollow sock set. I do still have them listed on my website as dyed to order if you do want it. I'll obviously put links to everything below that I can, and it's going to be great. But, so this is the Sleepy Hollow. It comes with the 2 minis. This is berry, and then this one is pumpkin pie. And then I did berry on the cuff as well. But again, just the vanilla increase, shadow wrap heel decreases. And again, a pair with all the ends woven in. We're turning over a new leaf with that, because having 26 some pairs of socks that I still need to weave ends on, because I have not done that yet, is kind of overwhelming. So we're going to be better about weaving in ends right away. So that was pair number 3. Pair number 4 is, so these next 2 are DK weight socks, which knit up so fast. It's such a dream to do. So this first one, this is Tranquility from Sock Obsession Yarns. So the other side has more of the black. Again, it pooled and spiraled so nicely. Like this black just spirals all the way around. It's beautiful. But again, I did the increase, shadow wrap, decrease leg. So here's the second one. Again, pairs done, ends woven in, can add them into rotation. Yeah. And then the last pair of socks that I have done right now is another DK pair, another plain vanilla, somewhat fancy heel. And this is called Cup of Cheer, and it is from Kimber's Cozy Creations. The sock set comes with the blue, I would say it's kind of blowing out, but there's like speckles, and it comes with like this coral mini too. It's like you can just get this skein on whatever base you want, or you can get the sock set either on Tough DK, which is what I did here, and that's a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, DK weight sock yarn, or you can get it on Cozy Fingering, which is again a 75-25, but it's a fingering weight sock yarn. So, and again, pair finished, ends woven in. We're just cruising right along on that. That's awesome. So that's all the socks that I have finished. My next FO, or finished object, is a pattern test that I did for Liz Cluth, I think I pronounced that right, of the Knitting Lizard. I'm gonna look that up real quick because I should have written that down. Yeah, Knitting Lizard Fibers. She is based out of the Twin Cities in Minnesota, and I only discovered her when, I think last summer, there's videos on the channel about it, but I went to Oklahoma with my mom to visit my aunt, and of course we had to stop at every yarn store along the way that we could. So we stopped at the Yarnery in St. Paul, Minnesota, and they had her yarn there. Their yarn. They had their yarn there. Not sure on pronouns. Anyways, they had their yarn there, and so I picked it up because it was a local dyer. Started following them on Instagram, and then saw this pattern test, and I knew I had to do it because it's gorgeous. So it is the Way Cowl. So it's just a circular cowl, and it's just arrows. It's beautiful. And both of these colorways are ones that I dyed. They're both one of a kind. This blue one is like blue and then speckled. It's turned out so pretty. This purple one, I do still have some of that in my shop because I was dyeing some tonal and it turned out not correct. So I had, I think, like 10 skeins to begin with. I think there's only like 7 or 8 left in the shop. I don't remember. It's a Once Upon a Dye. I don't remember which number. So I will pop it on the screen here and then I'll link it below because it is a gorgeous purple. Like I said, it's kind of blown out a little bit, but it's so pretty. It is these are both on my Tough DK base, so it's a 75% superwash merino, tough 25% nylon. So it would be great for like socks or a cowl or a hat or whatever. So it was like I said, a pattern test. There was the provisional cast on, and then you knit your repeats and then Kitchener at the end. I would say my Kitchener's not gorgeous, but it's not terrible for like the first time Kitchenering that many stitches. My color work was a little rough to begin with, but it got better as it went along, which is great. But it's just a super warm, cozy cowl. I believe like the pattern is published now, so you can go get your own. They were having kits in their shop, like I said, because they're also a yarn dyer. They had kits in their shop. I don't know at the time of filming this if they still have some up there, but I'll link their shop below and you can go check it out. But it's like super cozy, warm. I only did, the pattern calls for 8 repeats, and so like that's 1 repeat. The pattern calls for 8. I only did 7 because I kind of ran out of yarn. I used 100-gram skeins. I did not gauge swatch before, so that's probably my own fault. But I only did 7 repeats, and I'm glad because it fits. Like if it was 1 repeat bigger, I think it'd be like too loose. But it wouldn't be long enough to like double up. So I'm glad it worked out beautifully. I'm so happy with it. So I'm gonna go put this by the front door so I can grab it when we run places, because this week is gonna be brutally cold. Not brutally cold, it's gonna be really cold. I think right now it's like 0 degrees Fahrenheit outside. I think the highest high this week that I saw was like 15 degrees Fahrenheit or something like that, which isn't terrible. It could be colder, but we've been having a really mild winter so far, and like lately the high has been like 25 to 30 degrees Fahrenheit, which has been wonderful. So it's just very cold, much colder than we're used to lately. But yes, go check out this pattern. Just 2 colors of DK weight. I just used the Tough DK because I had this the purple, and then I ended up, I think I actually dyed the blue one first. Well, the purple ones were dyed forever. I am all over the place today. I'm so sorry. The purple was dyed a while ago, and then I was just playing around with some like extra dye that I had, and I dyed up the blue one, and then the purple one just matched it perfectly. So that's how those colors came to be. But yeah, just any 2 skeins of DK weight yarn, and you're good to go. So that is all of my FOs that I could think of since the last time I was on here. I think that's it. If I find something, I'll just show you next time and pretend I did it then. So, it's great. So then up next we have whips or works in progress. And I have so many of them, but I've only been actively working on 3 of them this month anyways. I think I worked on a couple more since last podcast, but I can only think of 3 that I've been like actively working on this month. So I'll show you those 3 and then I'll just go from there. So first we have another pair of socks. So I have 2 socks and a hat that I'm currently working on. This first pair of socks is not for me, they're for the boyfriend. And this is how far I am so far. Oh goodness. They're super long. These ones have the Flegel heel that fit him really well. They are not my personal favorite as far as, well, 1, knitting them, and then 2, like fitting my foot. They just don't fit very well. Also, he has gigantic feet. They're so long. Let's see if this yarn is so dark it's so hard to see. Let's see if I can put a sock blocker on it and if that'll help at all. goodness, how are we gonna do this? We will go this way with it. So just try not to lose it off the needles either, because that would not be fun at all. Okay, there we go. So one, these sock blockers fit my feet pretty well. So if his heel is there, the sock blocker ends like at the toe. So these are much ridiculously long. So for the Flegel heel, I always knit them toe up, and then at one point you start increasing for the bottom of the foot, and then you do like this weird, let's see if I can, this is a hot mess, wow. Anyways, you increase and then you start working back and forth on the back of the foot to like turn the heel and then reduce the stitches at the same time, if that makes any sense at all. So it definitely creates more space like between the heel and the top of your foot, but for my feet personally, they're way too much. It's way too much space. But anyways, so this yarn I dyed myself. I have various sock blanks just kind of like in the bare yarn stash that I have that I just play around with sometimes. And this one is just a double knit sock blank that I dyed up because I don't even remember, I was bored or had extra dye or something. So that's what these are. These toes, this is Very Violet, which is also up on the website and stuff. But the sock blank is a one of a kind. And since it was a double knit sock blank, I have the two 50-gram cakes. And it's hard to see because I'm starting to get into the color transition, but it was a very subtle fade. You can kind of see side by side, like the sock that I have knit up already is much darker than the stuff that's still caked up. So it'll be interesting to see it fully transition because I can start to see it as I'm knitting it, especially now in the heels or in the cuff. Let's see if it'll focus here. Like it's dark and it's just transitioning to like the lighter purple. So yeah, so it's just a long foot heel, and then it's just going to be 2x2 ribbing until I run out of yarn because he likes his socks very, very tall. So we're just going to keep knitting on that until we run out of yarn. And my battery is dying, so we're gonna pause here. I'm gonna go plug it in, charge it, and then show you the last whip and then finish everything else. So we'll be back. Okay, we're back now. I charged my phone, my camera battery some, and I think we're ready to finish our whips and then get into all the other goodness that's happening. So I just showed the socks that I'm knitting for my boyfriend that have the Flegel heel, all that goodness. So I have two more whips. I think I said I had one before I went to go charge my battery, but that's a lie, I have two more. Oh, it's cold. So this next sock whip is a pair of, it's a pair of DK socks. It is the Read More socks by Nicole of Professor Pearl. She had, it was fun because it's a collab. It's my yarn, her pattern. She was in Wisconsin over the summer and was all of an hour away. So we met up for coffee. It was so wonderful. We chit-chatted. And she mentioned this sock design. And I was like, hey, if you want like a custom colorway yarn support, whatever, just let me know. We'll make it happen. So she sent me like the mood board for kind of like what color she was looking at, and I was like, perfect, this is right up my alley. And so I dyed it up for her. She designed it. She released the pattern on January 1st, and I started knitting mine, I think like the 2nd or 3rd or something. On the 1st. I started it on the 1st, and I have not gotten very far yet. But, so this is how far I am. Oh goodness. So it's a toe up, DK weight. The pattern is so well written because there's, I'm doing the cabled option. She has it written for like a cable pattern on the front, and then I think a ribbing, and then just like plain vanilla. And on the bottom of the socks, I think it's the coolest thing ever. It has like, it's gonna be duplicate stitch, but it'll say like read more. So like when your feet are propped up and you're cozy and reading, it just says read more, which is really cool. But so this is how far I am. And this little charm guy is from Charmed and Dangerous as usual. I'll be moving him up after I'm done recording, so then next time we're here I can show you how far I got. So this is the Icy. So it's the Read More sock set. But this blue is called Icy. It's a mostly tonal. It does have, first half was focusing so well for me, and now we're back to the usual. Focus. Anyway, it's not focusing very well, but you can kind of see like there's darker speckles. So it's so it's a tonal, but then it's like very subtly speckled, which I think is super, super fun. See if it'll show up on the cake at all. So this is all caked up, the Icy. There you go. You can kind of see some of the speckles. But it's blowing out pretty good right now. But there's some speckles. So this is Icy. And then the contrast is called Deep Magenta. So this, definitely for the cuffs and the duplicate stitch. I don't know if I'm going to do the heels in this color yet. But definitely the cuffs and the duplicate stitch. But this is the sock set from Kimber's Cozy Creations. It is listed on the website right now. Right now I just have it listed on the Tough DK. I think I will be also adding a fingering weight option because it is such a good combination, but the pattern is written for DK weight. But yeah, so far I'm really enjoying the pattern. I think I have like one repeat of the cable pattern done so far, so I'm not, like I said, I'm not very far into it, but I am enjoying it so far. I do think the pattern is written as afterthought heels, and personally I'm just not a huge fan of them. Like, they're not bad. I enjoy doing them. I would just much rather do like a shadow wrap heel. So I think that's the only modification I'm going to be making as of right now anyway, is doing the shadow wrap heel instead of an afterthought heel. But that's just a personal preference thing. That's nothing to do with the pattern at all. That's a me thing for sure. Yeah, so there's that. Like I said, the sock sets are up on the website. The pattern is published. I'll put a link below. It'll be a Ravelry link. I know some people are still having issues with accessing Ravelry. So if you are having issues with Ravelry, just let me know and I will do my best to get you a copy of the pattern one way or another. Whether that's like emailing the designer for you and getting in contact with them, whatever. We'll make it happen if you want a pattern that I talk about that's on Ravelry and you cannot access Ravelry. So, okay, so there's 2 out of the 3 lips. This next one I'm so excited about. It's a little rough still because it is. So it's the Alaska Hat by Camille Descato. I'm totally not pronouncing their last name correctly, but it is the Alaska Hat. I will like pop a picture here of what it's gonna look like when it's done. So it's a fingering weight colorwork hat. Right now I'm on, I think like round 13 of 35 for the colorwork chart. So it's still rough as far as like you can't really tell what it's supposed to be yet. And my colorwork is a nightmare right now, but I'm hoping it'll all block out. But for this one, I will show you the yarn. gonna show you the whip and then I'll show you the yarn caked up. So this is, like I said, the Alaska hat. I am using the Void, which is a black, and then I'm using Aurora Borealis, which was the January Mystery Club for Kimber's Cozy Creations. And yes, I'm also doing a mystery club. I will talk about that after I'm done with this whip, because I know I started it. I think I posted about it in like the community page. I'm still trying to figure that out as far as YouTube goes, but I have not talked about it on the podcast yet. So it is new to you if you are either one, not following me on Instagram and haven't seen it there, or two, have not seen it on like the community page. So I apologize for that. I was gonna try, anyways, I'll show you this, I'll show you the yarn, and then that'll kind of segue into shop news and shop updates. So far, this is what we got. You can actually kind of see it a little bit better on camera than in person as far as like the color work chart. It's so rough right now. Like I said, I'll pop a picture of what it's supposed to look like, but basically it's night sky trees. So like here's a tree trunk. I think there's like a little tree there. There's one coming in there. And of course I have a Charmed and Dangerous stitch marker on there. It's a little polar bear. It's blowing out so much because of the black yarn, but it's a little polar bear star. So this is the Void, which is the black. And then this colored one is Aurora Borealis. So I'm so excited for this one. Like, I'm stoked. It's just taken me a while because one, fingering weight, and then two, color work. I am knitting it inside out. I turned it right side out to show you, but I am knitting it inside out to hopefully help with the float. Since it is a hat, it needs to stretch decently well. So I'm hoping by knitting it inside out, that'll be fine. And then I'm hoping, like, some of the stitches are a little wonky, so I'm hoping blocking it will help all the stitches look nice. We'll see what happens. So like I said, this is the Void, just a black tonal. So pretty. And then this is Aurora Borealis. I am so incredibly thrilled with this. I'm gonna rotate so you can get all the color and all the goodness. We'll just take a moment for this right here. It is blowing out a little bit, so it's a little bit more muted than this. It's not as bright, but it's still, I think it's gorgeous. Like this green is my favorite, and then the pink, and then it's all my favorite. It's so good. But, so that is Kimber's Cozy Creations January Mystery colorway. Well, one of them, I guess, technically. But I'm hoping to have this done, definitely won't be done by the end of the month. That's what I was kind of hoping, but we'll see. It'll get done when it gets done. I'm trying to be better about that this year, just as far as like not setting unrealistic expectations on myself. And it's very hard. I struggle with it a lot. So this will get done when it gets done. But I'm very, very excited about that. I'm so stoked to see how it works and knits up and all that. So that'll be a nice little segue into shop news and updates. And my coffee is cold at this point, which is very sad. Between being cold down here and then while I was waiting for my battery to charge up some, I was like cleaning off my desk so I can actually use that and putting stuff away, and I just forgot I had coffee. So now it's kind of cold, which is, it's still coffee, it's still caffeine, but not as fun. Yeah. Okay, so Kimber's Cozy Creation has a mystery club. Yeah, that's the thing that's happening this year. So basic, I wrote down all the important parts because I'm so excited about it. I always forget the important bits. So every month there is going to be a new mystery colorway. You can get it. Okay, so this was January's inspiration, was the Northern Lights. Beautiful, OOAK. And then this is February's inspiration, which is it's like florally flower, not like a dried bouquet, but it's like the pastel pinks and purples and florals, which I think is going to be fun. I haven't trialed it yet. I really need to. It'll probably be a tomorrow thing. It'll happen soon. But I'm pretty excited about it because I didn't want, because like February, everybody usually thinks like Valentine's Day, which is great, but I didn't want it to be like boom in your face Valentine's Day, because personally I'm just like, Valentine's Day is cute and all, like it's nice, but I don't like the like bright pinks and reds and like super cliche Valentine's Day stuff. So I was looking for something that, like, if you think about it, it could be Valentine's Day, but it could also just be like a really pretty winter slash spring floral type of thing. So I'm excited about that. So just the basics of the club is you can pick any base that you want. I also have sock sets and I have self-striping options. Sock sets will always come with 2 minis. Self-striping will always come with 2 minis. And then you have the option to add on like little extras, or you can not have extras. So either one, because I know some people don't like having like just the random extras with it, and I'm trying really hard to not have it be like random stuff that you're not going to use, because I know that annoys me when I get stuff that I end up not using. It just sits, and it either just sits on the shelf or I end up throwing it away, and that just feels really wasteful to me. So I'm trying really hard to have it be something that you can actually use. So yeah, so all my bases, and then sock sets, self-striping sock sets. You can add the extras if you want. And then I have two options for buying the club. One, you can set up a subscription. I have figured out subscriptions on my website, which is super, super exciting. So the subscription listing is going to be up year-round. So if it's like the middle of the month and you say, oh, I really want to join this mystery club, you can subscribe and then you're good to go. Or there's an option to just buy each month individually. So if you see the inspiration, you say, oh, I really like this, like these colors, this theme, whatever, I want it for this month. You can just get it for the 1 month and then you're done. So the subscription is up year-round. The 1 month, or like month at a time, the listing is going to be up from the 1st of the month to the 3rd of the month. So like when, right, so it's just the 3 days that the listing is up for the single month. Okay, so just the single month listing is up for the 3 days. If you do the subscription, as long as you are subscribed before the 3rd of the month, you will be, like, your subscription will start that month. Does that make sense? It was the best way that I could kind of think to do it and keep it easy on my end as far as like figuring out whose subscription goes with what month. So if you start your subscription on, say, like February 16th, your first month like that you get in the mail would be March. But if you started your subscription on March 2nd, your first month would be March as well. I hope that makes sense. If that is confusing at all, please let me know down below and I'll like kind of clarify it as best as I can. So yes, you can either subscribe, you can do a month at a time, any of my standard bases, sock sets, self-striping sock sets. It's a grand old time. With that, at the end of the year, so probably, I don't know, anyways, end of the year, I don't know what day it's actually gonna go up, there will be a pre-order for all of the colorways from the year. Probably across pretty much all my bases. So like the same idea as the club, just it'll be a pre-order for all of the colorways throughout the whole year. Because I know some people do not like mysteries. Like that's not their thing. Totally fine, totally get it. Or if, say, you are subscribed and you get just like one skein of DK for March and you fall in love with it, at the end of the year, you'll have that opportunity to then go and order more of that colorway, either on the same base or on different bases or whatever. So I'm hoping that'll kind of help with, one, people not really liking mysteries, and then two, like if there's a colorway that you love and you're like, oh, I need a sweater out of this, there's going to be that opportunity down the road to then get that colorway again, if that makes sense. So, yes. So with that, I have the colorway still kind of hanked up here. So this one, so this is Aurora Borealis, like in a hank. This one is on my Zebra DK base, which I'm trying to start including more, but it's still not offered like as a dyed to order base option, but I'm just like playing around with dyeing more colorways on it because it is so fun. So this is what it looks like in the hank. So like if you got the club, this is what it looks like in the hank. But on the Zebra base, it is so fun. This is my Zebra DK. It's 100% superwash merino, 100 grams, 246 yards. So this skein will be available to purchase. So I only have the one of them. It'll be ready to ship on January 31st. I will be doing a shop update, and I will be talking about that in a little bit too. So this is just in hank form. And then, so with the sock set this month, there was the skein of Aurora Borealis, and then there was a mini of, I don't have the minis, I have full hank ones, but mini of the Void, so the black. And then I did a speckled, I'm gonna see if I can get this one to show up really well. So it's a white base, and it's basically all of the neon speckles, like all the colors that I used in Aurora Borealis, and then I speckled some black in there too. So it's just a white base with speckles on it. And then this one I'm calling Neon Sprinkles, because it's fun. And then the Void were the minis that came with the Aurora Borealis. So that was the sock set for this month. This skein is going to be mine because I forgot to dye myself minis when I was dyeing everything else. Which is fine, because if I did that, I would have had to add like a whole nother pan of yarn just for one mini, which is not efficient at all. And then I can use it for like the self-striping and stuff too, because I dyed extras of those for myself because I can. So this one's mine. This will not be available, but the Void, it is on my Cozy Fingering base. This one will also be up on the 31st as well, so in a couple days. So I'm hoping to get this video obviously finished recording it today and then upload it today. I have to edit it, that's weird, edit it and then upload it today. Hopefully it'll go up tonight. If not, it'll probably be like first thing tomorrow morning. So then gives people a couple days to see it before everything goes up. So yes, the skein of the Void on fingering will be available on the 31st in the ready to ship stuff, along with the 80,000 other skeins that are ready to ship right now. So then I will put a picture here of the self-striping worked up, because I did not have the time this month to do swatches of like either the self-striping or the regular skein. So this is the just like Aurora Borealis knit up as a sock. Yep. Okay, and then this is the self-striping. So like I said, I didn't have the time to do it myself this month, but some people have already finished socks with the club colorway, and they so nicely sent me pictures because I asked them to, because I don't have them. But this is the self-striping. Let's say this is the fingering weight one. It is not wanting to focus right now. But the self-striping, I called it Northern Stripes because they're like the Northern Lights but stripes, and it's fun and punny and it makes me happy. So I can't tell if it's focusing or not. I don't think it is. But this is Northern Stripes, and again, this will be available at the end of the year as a pre-order. So that's an option. So this is the fingering weight one. This is the DK one. I would say it's the same. There we go. Now it's focusing. Same stripe pattern. Pretty much the same widths of stripes. It's just DK versus fingering. So this one was a trip and a half because I had like this grand idea. I wanted to do, it was going to be like a 14 stripe pattern. It was going to have like larger stripes of either like black or like a dark navy, like night sky, and then stripes of like the pops of color. And it was going to be a 14 stripe repeat. Oh, excuse me. It was going to be a lot. I was winding up one, well, prepping one for dyeing. I was like, I can't do this as like for the orders that I have now, and then at the end of the year I'm gonna hate it. So I switched it up and just, it's a 7 color repeat. It's all the colors as the Aurora Borealis skein, just stripe version. So these will also not be up right now, but at the end of the year you'll be able to order them. And then, okay, so that kind of gets you all caught up on clubs. Like I said, the subscriptions are open all the time. Just depends on when in the month you order, determines when you start your subscription, and then single month listings will be up the 1st through the 3rd. It cut me off, how rude. But yes, 1st through the 3rd of each month for single club listings. So now that brings us to some item number 2 of shop news. I am carrying a new sock base. It is not up on the website as of the time of recording this. It will be up by the 31st for sure. I'm going to try to get it up there like over the, probably tomorrow, Tuesday. Well, tomorrow, it has to be tomorrow. It'll be up there before the 31st when I throw all the new stuff up there. But it is a, let's say the bare yarn is going to be so hard to see. It is a 2-ply fingering weight sock base. It is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. It has the, you can kind of see the 2-ply over here. It's the 2-ply tried and true, and it is going to be called Twisted Fingering. I just know some people are in love with the 2-ply. 2-ply is slowly growing on me. I still prefer a 4-ply just because of how it looks. But when it's knit up, it's not as much of a, like, it's not as noticeable to me. So 2-ply is slowly growing on me, but I know some people are like die hard 2-ply or nothing. So we're slowly heading that way. So this is Twisted Fingering. It is a 2-ply. Like I said, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. And I believe it is, it's 100 grams for the main skein. I believe it's just a straight 400 yards. Yep, 400 yards, 100 gram skein for the mains. And then I have minis for them as well because they're sock sets. And I believe the minis are, would be what? We're just going to do some quick math. 80 yards for the minis. For a 20 gram mini is about 80 yards. So this will be added to all of the dye to order listings as an option, and then it will also be added into the club options as well. So you can get the socks, like the Mystery Club, on the 2-ply base as well. That's fun. And so, of course, I did some dyeing experiments. I was like working with it to make sure it dyed up well, make sure I liked how it looked, and it's so good. So I will have three Twisted Fingering sock sets going up as ready to ship on the 31st as well. So I have pumpkin pie. The sock says like this this is pumpkin pie. It's a beautiful burnt orangey. You can kind of see the 2-ply better when it's dyed. Then it has the Bear Mini for like the whipped cream. Like I said, there's the, I don't know why I looked it up when it was on the label. Anyways, so this one will be up on the 31st, and then we have a Sleepy Hollow sock set on the twisted fingering that will also be up on the 31st. Focus, goodness. Here, we'll start with this. So it has, oh, there we go. There we go. Now we got it. So the 2-ply just dyes up so well. So excited about it. Like I said, it's slowly growing on me. I have a couple like skeins and minis from other dyers that are 2-ply that I'm trying to use up. So I think by the end of the year, I think I'll be converted into liking it. I think I'm still gonna prefer a 4-ply, but the 2-ply is growing on me. And then I will also have a Cup of Cheer sock set on twisted fingering as well on the 31st. Let's focus on the words first. Maybe. There we go. So we got speckles. It speckles so well too. So this is Cup of Cheer. This sock set will be up on the 31st as well. Look at that twist though. It's so good. I'm so pleased with it. I don't know why I waited so long to get it into the shop, but it's there. It's gonna be there now. Like I said, as of the time of recording this, it's not up there yet as an option. It will be by the 31st. Speaking of the 31st of January, that is my birthday. I'm going to be turning 30 years old, which is pretty cool. But, so because of that, we will be doing a 24-hour 30% off sale. Literally just 24 hours, everything will be 30% off. Will not apply to gift cards or clubs. But everything else will be 30% off, all the ready to ship, all the dye to order. There will be no code needed, so it's easy enough for you just to add to cart, checkout, done. Yep, 24 hours, January 31st, everything will be based on Central Time, as far as like midnight to midnight, but there's so much ready to ship yarn. I still have peanut butter and jelly bags and charms, sock sets, so that'll all be 30% off too. I have a couple like 6-skein fades. I'll put a picture of that right here because it's beautiful. I've had those for a while. That'll be 30% off. Yeah, mini sets, anything up on the website, like I said, except gift cards and clubs will not be included in the sale. Everything else, 30% off for the 24 hours. You just have to add it to your cart and check out. It'll be automatically applied. I'm going to be working on getting that code set up tonight, tomorrow. And then, like I said, get the twisted fingering all up on there. I have a couple other random skeins that I needed to dye to fill out pans when I was dyeing yarn. Last time I did a big dye, couple days, whatever. So those will be up there too. And then there's so much ready to ship yarn up there. Take advantage of a sale, help me clear my shelves, that'd be cool. And celebrate birthdays, I guess. But, yep, no code needed. Good to go. Let's say, obviously I won't have a video between now and then. But if you want to make sure you're up to date on the sale in case something changes, I don't foresee anything changing, make sure you're following my Instagram. That's where I'm posting most of the time as far as like shop updates and then the club stuff and new colorways right away, new bases. After I'm done recording this, I'm gonna go make a post about the new base because I still haven't announced it over there. But everything, like I'm much more active on Instagram than I am here on YouTube, and I'm trying to be better about that just because why not? But yeah, make sure you go check out the sale. It'll be site-wide, everything except gift cards and clubs. So I think that's it for shop updates. So next we're gonna get kind of into, well, I'm gonna do like acquisitions next, and then we'll kind of go into life stuff. So if you want to stick around for life updates and then kind of see what kind of new toys I got, stick around. If all you wanted was the FOs, whips, and shop updates, then you're free to go, I guess. So, well, this chair is comfy, but it's kind of weird. Anyways, so I was gone for most of, well, all of December. I'll get into that more in a little bit. But so while I was gone, I had so many packages showed up just because I had ordered stuff either, like obviously before I left, or I got some stuff while we were gone and had it shipped to the house. So I had so many packages when I got home. I could probably do another like half-hour video on that, but we're not going to do that because that's a lot of time. But I'm really excited about this one thing in particular, so I'm going to share that with you. So I got an e-spinner, so a little electric spinning wheel. It's kind of crinkly. I'm sorry, I should have opened it earlier. We're gonna see if I can get this without the glare. Perfect. So it's just a little Nano 2 electric eel wheel from Dreaming Robots. They had a Kickstarter earlier last year, about a year ago now actually. So I've been wanting to get one, like a spinning wheel, for a long time. I have a Turkish drop spindle. I cannot get it to work. 100% a me problem, not a drop spindle problem. I think if I just had somebody like in person kind of showing me what to do, I would be better at it. Like I understand the theory of it. I understand how it's supposed to work. I can't get it to do what it's supposed to do. So I've been looking at getting a spinning wheel for a long time. They're just really expensive. Like the nice like wooden stand-up ones, like traditional spinning wheels, they're pretty pricey. So I saw that, and then I was looking at like electric wheels for a while. Still kind of pricey, not as pricey as like your stand-up spinning wheel. But then I saw that they were doing a Kickstarter for the Nano 2, and I was like, perfect opportunity to jump on that. Look how little it is. I have not played around with it yet. I have no idea how it works as far as like what I need to do. I understand the concept of how it works and all that, but I haven't played around with it yet. So I'm taking it out of the box to look at a couple times. I'm hoping on my birthday, so on Tuesday, I'm gonna just sit down and play around with it and try to figure it out. So it's just this little, it's little, it's cute. Of course I got the blue. It was this blue or a black option, and this is like my blue color, so of course I got that. So it came with that. It came with like the charging cords, like, excuse me, all the power cords and stuff, and then it came with more of the spindles. I don't know, where the yarn gets twisted onto, fiber gets twisted onto and becomes yarn. It came with more of those. What, there's 1, 2, 5 more of those, so I have 6 of them total now. So yeah, it came with more of those, and then obviously the instruction manual and like extra little doodads and stuff. So hopefully on Tuesday I will be figuring out how this thing works and making it happen. So of course, since I had that, that means I just had to get fiber to spin, because you can't really spin without the fiber. It's so crinkly, I'm so sorry. So this is just some of it. that I got. When we went to Oklahoma last year, we stopped in, I think I got this one in Kansas, but it's a Malabrigo. What is it, just, it's a comb top, 100% merino wool. Super gorgeous colors. But this was a, like, $18 purchase or something like that. And I figured I was either going to, well, I already had pledged on the Kickstarter for the spinning wheel, so I knew it was coming. And so I was like, I will get this one just to practice with this. That is, like, it's still good quality, but it is much more affordable than like a hand-dyed roving, which I am so terrified I'm gonna mess it up. So I'd much rather like mess up this than like hand-dyed roving, if that makes sense. So I'll probably start with this guy. I also do have a braid from when I was trying the Turkish drop spindle that's already kind of mutilated and like used up a little bit. So I'll probably honestly start with that and then go into this guy. But these colors are so good. I'm so excited about this. So of course, now that I have a spinning wheel and I'm gonna be a spinner with a capital S, probably not a capital S, but I'm gonna spin stuff and I'm gonna make it work. I'm following more people on Instagram that dye roving. So of course, one of the people that I'm following had a sale over the winter holidays. So of course I was like, gonna have to get some of that now because I have a spinning wheel at home waiting for me. And yeah, so I got 4 braids from 316 Dye Studio. This is one of them. I don't know if you can see the sparkle on this, but it's kind of a little bit. They're not staying together very well. But this one is 86% superwash merino and then 14% silver stellina. So it does have a sparkle to it. And this colorway is, oh, there's no colorway name on here. It had one when I selected it, I'm pretty sure. But I'm not seeing it on here and I don't remember off the top of my head. But there's this one, sparkly, so pretty. Oh, somebody scared me. And then we have this braid is not sparkly. That's interesting that there's no, they had colorway names when I was selecting them. They're just not on the band, which is interesting. This beautifulness. These colors are so good. This is the braid that I kept seeing on their Instagram that I was like, okay, I need that. And then I went and checked out everything else. And at one point I had like 10 or 11 sitting in my shopping cart. And I was like, that's a little ridiculous. So I narrowed it down to 4. So this is a BFL Cecil? Sure, we'll go with that. So it's 70% BFL and then 30% Cecil. And it is so gorgeous. It's like a sunset. It's just so pretty. So there's that one. I got 2 more. We have, see, this one has the name on it. That's weird. We have this one, which is kind of jewelry tone fall perfection. It's showing up on there pretty well. This one is named, the colorway is Fantastic Beast, and it is a Rambouillet, 100% Rambouillet. So soft, so warm. So there's that one. And then there is, I'm gonna have to get a new bag. That one is destroyed. This one is just 100% superwash, or 100% merino. I don't know if it's superwash or not. We'll find out. But it's like super pastel-y, gray, kind of peach, some pink in there. Super gorgeous. And then I do have like other braids and stuff that I'm going to be experimenting with, but they're over there. I just wanted to show you guys those ones. I tried my best to get different braids with different fiber content so I can like spin them all up, experiment with them, see which ones I like best. Because I feel like just like with knitting with different fiber content, like it's all going to be different. And I didn't want to end up with like 4 braids of one kind and then end up not liking it at all. Either not liking spinning with it, not liking working with it, whatever. So I tried my best to get like 1 braid of each fiber content. And then I have some other braids that are, I think some of them are repeats, but most of them are like different fiber content. I have a splinter in my finger. I'll work at that out later. Anyways, so those are like my big acquisitions that I'm super, super stoked for, because 1, it's a new hobby skill set, and then 2, they're super pretty and soft, and I'm very excited about it. So yeah, so I think that's it for, again, I wrote it all down because we're on top of it today. Yep, that's all I have for acquisitions that I'm going to show you right now. Otherwise it would be like another 30-minute long video, which isn't a terrible thing, but I just don't have the energy for that today. So if you're done with yarn stuff, then I'll talk to you guys later. Please follow, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Like I said, Instagram is where I'm posting most of my stuff. So if you want more like up to date or like to be kept in the loop a little bit more, Instagram is going to be the way to go. I think I'm going to try to get a newsletter set up at some point this year, but again, I don't know if it's actually going to happen, and if it is, I don't know when. So now we're going to kind of get into life update stuff. But first, I put it over here so I wouldn't lose it, and then I completely forgot about it. So we're going to jump back to the mystery club for a little bit. So I was saying how you can have extras added on, and I'm just going to show you what the January extras were, just so you have somewhat of an idea to like what to expect for the extras. So the January's extras included a set of stitch markers. Goodness. Oh, that's not bad. This one has like a little star at the bottom. So there's like 1 big one, and then there's 2 kind of smaller ones. It's over here by my pinky. And then it was 5 light bulb markers. Mom actually made all of the stitch markers and then put them together and like punched them, stamped them, all that good stuff. So each month will include, as far as the extras go, a set of stitch markers that kind of are on theme for that month. So like this month was Northern Lights, so it has the star on the bottom and like this speed. It's so hard to see right now, but it's like that dark, moody, mother of pearl color shifting type of thing. It's really, really cool. So that was one thing. And then we're going to be doing little buttons for each month, which I'm super stoked about. This month's going to be a little, like January's is a little weird one. I'm going to try to get the glare off of there. But it started with, like, it's scrapbook paper. That's impossible to do. It's scrapbook paper that was, like, trees with the Northern Lights. So each one, like, there's a couple stars on this one. And then they were all, like, different colors and stuff. They're pretty small. And I dropped it, so that's gone forever. Not forever, but it's down there. So those are going to be the 2 constants for extras each month. And then adding the extras is only $5 for each month, which I think is pretty fair as far as like you get a stitch marker set and then a little button. And then, so the stitch marker and the button are going to be kind of on theme for each month. Like February's, I already have the paper picked out. We already have the beads picked out for the stitch markers and stuff. So I'm really excited about that. And then the first month of your yarn club. So like everybody who did it in January got theirs already. If February is your first month, you'll get it then. If July is your first month, you'll get it then. But we have stickers now. Like, how legit is that? So yeah, they're just like Kimber's Cozy Creation logo stickers. They're pretty big. They're bigger than I kind of thought. Like, I don't know. I'm really excited about them. So your first month, you'll get a sticker for free. I think I'm going to add them to the shop as like a little add-on. I don't know. I still haven't decided what I want to do with that yet. But if you do get the yarn club the first month that you have the club, you will get a sticker. Just as part of it. It's not an extra charge or anything. Just like a little thank you for getting the club. Of course, now it's not going to focus again. Okay, so now we can get into life stuff. I just stopped by my coffee and I was like, oh, I brought that over to do that. So, yeah. Okay, so life updates. So much has happened in the past end of November till now, 2 months. 2 months, holy cow. So at the end of November, my boyfriend's brother unexpectedly passed away. So we were planning on going out to Colorado for Christmas and New Year's anyways, but then it ended up we went out like at the beginning of December, instead of like middle of December, which is fine. I'm very thankful that I have this job and I'm in a place where I can kind of suddenly change plans like that. So I'm very thankful for that. Obviously sucks. I'm tired of going back for funerals. This is the family's 3rd funeral in the past 18 months. Well, like 19 months now, but at the time it was like in 18 months it was 3 different funerals. I'm over that. I'm done with that. So that sucks, but it was nice to see everybody. We were there for Christmas and New Year's. Like I said, we were planning on doing that anyways, but then we were there for like 6 weeks, I think, instead of the original 2 that we planned, which was nice to spend more time with them. Just obviously wish it was under much different circumstances, because he was 22 when he died, so way too young. So that sucks. But like I said, seeing family was nice. Just wish it was under different circumstances. So that took up pretty much all of December. So I also feel like I'm so behind right now, just because like with the mystery club and all that, I was planning on having like samples dyed up for like before the 1st type of thing. I was planning on doing like a neon New Year's little mini collection thing. And when we were leaving like the 20th of December or whatever, I was still gonna make it work because I was just gonna dye everything before we left, take pictures, and then just post it while we were there. Not a big deal. But then we had to leave like the 2nd of December, and so that just went out the window. I'm still gonna try to do that this year at some point, but I don't know when it's gonna happen. So there was that. What else happened? Yes, everything's been crazy busy this month, just as far as like catching up and getting things back to where they need to be. But yeah, what other life stuff? Oh, I had to go to the dentist the other day. That sucked. Had to get a tooth pulled. Fun times. Need to go back in the somewhat near future to get 2 root canals and 2 crowns. Not thrilled about that. Dental stuff is so expensive. So I don't know when that's gonna happen, because it's gonna be like $6 grand to get the rest of my stuff done, because I ain't got dental insurance. Which is one of the downfalls of working for yourself, is the whole insurance and all that stuff. So hopefully that can happen sooner rather than later, but it's probably gonna be a while, so I'm not excited about that. And then, oh, Friday, so just a couple days ago, I was supposed to have an appointment with my neurologist just to check up for my MS, because I started my new med, so it was just gonna be like a follow-up, like how are things going type of thing. Woke up and had a flat tire on my car, so I aired that up. By the time I got to town, it was flat again, which is all of 7 miles away. Like, it's not that far at all. So there's no way I was gonna make it to Duluth, which is like a 50-mile one-way trip, with that tire. So the automotive place in town was so kind and so nice to get me in that morning, and did a patch repair on the tire, got that all fixed. So now I'm gonna have to get a newish tire soon, probably sooner rather than later. Like, it's patched up and it's holding air fine now, but it's one of those, like, from getting from the house into town, like I said, is all of 7 miles. It went flat fast enough that I drove on the rim for too long, which, I mean, really anytime driving on the rim is too long, but so, like, it messed up the tire around the rim. Oh, my hand is cold. The tire around the rim. Yeah, I think that's how they were explaining. I don't know. I just know it's not really any good anymore. So it's repaired well enough for now. But I will need to replace that at some point. So that's fun. So then I had to reschedule my neurologist appointment. So now that's in March, because that was the soonest they could get me in. And we probably could have done like a telecommunication thing, like the virtual visit. But since I live in Wisconsin, my neurologist is in Minnesota. The nurse that I was going to be talking to isn't licensed in Wisconsin, so she can't, like, go across state lines virtually, basically. So now I have to wait till March for that, which is fine. Like, it's not, like, things are going well, so it's not that big of a deal. It's just really annoying. And then this morning, my hearing aid broke. So I have to go in tomorrow to get that fixed and looked at. Hopefully it's just a quick, like, replace the wire type of thing. But man, I'm exhausted. And then, yeah, so I'll be going into Duluth tomorrow for that. Get that fixed. Like I said, hopefully it's just a quick 5-minute, oh, we'll just replace this wire and it'll be fine. So it's great. I mean, there's lots of good stuff happening too, but obviously, like, the bad always overshadows the good as far as, like, sticking out in your mind for, like, memory wise. Yeah, birthday's on Tuesday. That's exciting. I would say Tuesday I'm planning on just, like, chilling at the house and knitting a little bit, probably casting on a birthday pair of socks, and then figuring out my spinning, curl up by the fire. This week is supposed to be stupid cold. They're like highs, I think the highest high, I don't remember if I said this already, but the highest high that I think I remember seeing is like 20 degrees for this week. Which again isn't too terrible, but it's cold and I don't like cold. Heat is much worse for me as far as like MS symptoms and stuff. Heat is much, much worse. So I would rather take this over anything over like 80 degrees consistently. So like I'm complaining, but I'm not complaining at the same time. I'd much rather deal with the cold because you can always put more layers on. You can start the fire. You can, like, it's much more manageable for me personally than like 90-degree weather. Because like 90-degree weather, you can only take off so many clothes. You can only like cool down so much. And then your body just can't do it anymore. Whereas like for me, if it's cold, I can always like throw more layers on, start the fire, get warm easier than for me to get cooler. So in the grand scheme of things, I'd much rather it be like this cold than hot. But if we could find like a happy medium of like, even right now, even just something like 30 would be great. I think right now outside it's like 0 degrees, maybe, I don't even know where my phone went. Maybe negative, I think I saw like -3 a couple, like an hour ago or whatever, but it's chilly. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for life updates. Yeah, just kind of taking it one day at a time, trying really hard not to set unrealistic expectations of myself, whether it be business-wise, knitting-wise, just life-wise in general. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's pretty much it. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, whatever, just let me know down below. I'll do my best to answer them as quickly and efficiently as possible. Oh, we did, they're hanging up over that. That's the only reason I remember. I will put some pictures in here, but Mom, like last week, kind of a week and a half ago, it was snowing quite a bit, and so Mom and I did some like snow dye experimenting, which was really, really fun. It didn't go quite how I expected it, but also I tried not to have any expectations, so it was interesting, but it was fun. It was nice to like she got to play with the colors a little bit. Obviously, I get to play with colors, which is always my favorite. But we put the yarn in a pan, stuck the pan outside, let it snow into it, and then we brought them inside. We put, like, speckled the dye powder on it, and then just let them melt, and then put them on the heat to set. And then I rinsed it, hang it up, all that good stuff. But it was really interesting to see how it transformed from, like, speckling the dye on to it melting to actually dyeing the yarn. So the first batch that we did, I just put the dye in, or put the yarn in dry. We let it snow, sprinkled it, all that stuff, and it did not go nearly as well as expected, because the yarn was still dry, so it didn't absorb the melting snow and the dye. The yarn was dry, it didn't absorb the snow and the melting. Words are hard, guys. Okay, so the yarn was dry, so it did not absorb the melting snow with the dye as well as it could have. Why was that so hard? So it ended up with a lot of white spots, but like the bottom part, like the yarn that was touching the pan was decently dyed, because that's where the water just kind of sat. So like, since it was sitting there so long, or like sat in the water, it absorbed it better. So that first one, we, like, it melted. We were not pleased with it. So we sprayed water on the yarn so it could get wet. And then we sprinkled more dye on it and like added a little bit more water. So it ended up being like just like a regular dye style, basically. And then put that on the warmers, set it all that. But then the second time that we did it, we were like, we're gonna learn from our experience, as one does. So I dampened the yarn first. So it was like wet to begin with. And then we used, so the first time we used the 2.5 inch pans, the second time we used the 4-inch pans, so like more snow, so more water was in there, and that turned out a lot better. I really like how that one turned out for me, and I remember which colors I used, and I think I'm gonna try to make a colorway with those colors and kind of try to replicate the style of how it ended up dyeing, if that makes sense. Because I really like how it looks, but like snow dyeing is so unreliable as far as like replicating it accurately each time. So I'm gonna see if I can like take those colors and make a colorway that I can replicate and then throw it up in the shop. So we'll see how that goes. Like I said, there'll be pictures, I'll show you. Yeah, that was fun. That was a good thing that happened lately. But yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm gonna try to get another video probably like middle of February. I'm gonna aim for one each month. And if I get more, cool. If not, one a month is gonna be good enough for me right now. I feel like that's a realistic-ish expectation. But yeah. So I will see you guys next time. Bye.